So, you hear that saying all the time, be the change you want to see in the world. So instead of just putting that onus on someone else, you're acknowledging that you, particularly the person that is wearing the shirt, like, I am the change.
Absolutely.
So I'm the change that I want to see.
You're listening to Sean Henry's Becoming, a podcast that focuses on the emotional journey of an entrepreneur from the thought of their business to the execution and beyond. I am your host, Sean Henry, a serial entrepreneur, speaker, real estate investor, landlord, 21-year retired Army veteran, and author of When the Bank Says No. I'm sitting down with entrepreneurs to talk about their processes and the lessons they've learned along the way. Fasten your seatbelts. The journey is rough, but rewarding. Thank you guys again for joining us for another episode of Sean Henry's Becoming. This episode has got to be fantastic because behind the scenes we have had so many technical difficulties, but we have an amazing talent with us today. Dani Benson is her name. She's not only a jewelry designer, but she also has a t-shirt line, and she's a youth sports director. So I'm very, very excited to talk with her today. Hi, Dani. How are you?
Hello, I am fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on today, so we can get these topics going. I've looked at your jewelry. I'm jumping ahead because I've looked at your jewelry already, and it is amazing. It is so beautiful. I definitely want to talk about that, but we always get started just to get the background of our guests and find out a little bit about them and how they ended up where they are currently. So we always start with where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I am from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, so the Midwest. Okay, Ohio. I have a friend that's from Ohio. And you currently live?
I currently live in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh.
I've lived in a couple different locations for school, but I am currently back in my hometown, Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, well, good. I know they're excited to have you there. And then, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have one brother. He's younger than me. But he's bigger than me, so I call him my bigger little brother.
I do the same thing. We got a few things in common. And did you grow up in an entrepreneurial household?
I didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial household, but my dad was really big into sales. So he was a salesman, and he's been a salesman like my entire life. So not necessarily entrepreneurial, but that hustle spirit of the salesman is what helps me.
Okay. And then also when you're working in sales, you kind of are an entrepreneur. You're usually working your own hours, or you have to meet a quota. It's almost, a lot of times it's 100% commission based. So if you don't work, you don't eat. So it's
Right.
A lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. And then your current business, you have Nantal Jewelry, which
Correct.
is a beautiful jewelry line, and then you have a t-shirt line as well.
Yes. The t-shirt line is called I Am the Change.
Okay.
We have two sayings right now. One is I am the change, and the other is do that ish, period. And they both sort of derived from wanting to be the change. So
we got a few things in common. And did you grow up in an entrepreneurial household?
I didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial household, but my dad was really big into sales. So he was a salesman, and he's been a salesman like my entire life. So not necessarily entrepreneurial, but that hustle spirit of the salesman is what helps me.
Okay. And then also when you're working in sales, you kind of are an entrepreneur. You're usually working your own hours, or you have to meet a quota. It's almost, a lot of times it's 100% commission based. So if you don't work, you don't eat. So it's
Right.
a lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. And then your current business, you have Nantal Jewelry,
Correct.
which is a beautiful jewelry line, and then you have a t-shirt line as well.
Yes. The t-shirt line is called I Am the Change.
Okay.
We have two sayings right now. One is I am the change, and the other is do that ish, period. Um, and they both sort of derived from wanting to be the change. So, you hear that saying all the time, be the change you want to see in the world. So instead of just putting that onus on someone else, you're acknowledging that you, particularly the person that is wearing the shirt, like I am the change.
Absolutely.
So I'm the change that I want to see. And that's the that's the concept behind the line. And then that do that ish, I woke up one morning and I was like, you know what, I need to do this ish. And then I text my people that are all in this t-shirt line together, and I was like, guys, the next slogan is do that ish. And they was like, period. And I was like, yes.
You gotta add the period, okay? The period is definitely the stamp of approval. Like, it's happening. So
Right.
so that's amazing. So let's start with the t-shirt line. So with the t-shirt line, you just come up with different sayings as things occur.
Right. So we decided last year that we were going to do something collectively together. So it's me and a group of my female friends. And we couldn't quite figure out exactly what it was going to be. We had a couple of big ideas. And I was like, what if we just start small? Like, with my club, I have a t-shirt vendor. Let's just do a t-shirt. And they're like, okay. So we were kind of going back and forth with, what it's going to be. And then we settled on I Am the Change. And it was like, that's it. Like, as soon as, we said it was like, yes, like, that's it. Like, we are the change. And that was the key thing, is that, you're not looking for someone else to be the change. Like, you are truly acknowledging that, like, I am it. Like, it's me. I'm looking at this person in the mirror, like I'm it. And so that came about just at the beginning of the year. We really got everything rolling, got an Instagram page, all of that. And the shirts have really been selling well so far. Like, people believe in what the statement is. And, it's just a broad spectrum of people that we have as clients right now.
Great. And then also with what's happening right now with the not the riots, but the peaceful protests, bringing light or shedding more light to the injustice of police brutality. Recently, the most recent was the death of George Floyd. So people across the country, as well as the world, actually have been protesting police brutality. So your t-shirts, I Am the Change, can definitely be a statement piece in this, in what's going on right now.
Yes, I actually wore my t-shirt just last night at one of the protests. And, this morning we had like 12 new sales just from people seeing the shirt while I was out at the protest. And they're like, yes, like, I'm the change also. Like, where'd you get that shirt? And I'm like, this is our company. This is how to get in contact with us. And this morning I woke up to 12 new orders. Yes. And I was like, yes,
that is
like,
great.
Just getting the word out there.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to do that as well. Hi, this is Sean Henry from Sean Henry's Becoming. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no listenership. It's everything you need to make in a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So we definitely want to make sure we let people know how they can get an I Am the Change t-shirt, not just for today and not just for the protest that's happening right now, but that needs to be 365. Everyone can be the change at some point in their life, whether it's in their community, whether it's in their company or in their cubicle. They can be the change. So what okay, so you have the I Am the Change t-shirt line, and then you have the Nantal jewelry. So
Yes.
tell us about that.
So that got started back in 2004. I was in undergrad and I was going to a cabaret and couldn't find like the right necklace that I wanted. I had found a dress and then I had also made a shawl to match the dress. And I was like I really want some jewelry. So I was kind of shopping around and I hadn't made jewelry at this point at all. Um, and I was sort of shopping around and found a piece that I liked, but it wasn't the color that I needed. And so I was like, you know what? I feel like I can make something like this because that's the type of person I am. So I bought two because I did like the piece itself. And then I bought another one to deconstruct and just sort of, saw how they put it together. And then I went to Joann's Fabrics at the time. And I said, hey, like I talked to the person at the counter. I said, hey, like this is the necklace. This is it deconstructed. And I want to make something similar to this for myself. So then they took me over and showed me where like the wire was, like the tools I would need and the beads. And it really sort of started from there. Like I made my own necklace and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I love your necklace. It matches your dress perfectly. Like, how did you find that necklace? And I was like, I made it. And they're like, what? And so it really sort of took off from there. And then in 2010, Columbus did Fashion Week. Fashion Week Columbus, and I was one of 3 jewelry designers to walk the runway there. That was an amazing experience, an amazing opportunity, great publicity. I've been in a couple different like newspaper articles, just sort of about being a creative. But my designs just like I don't sketch them out or anything. Like they come from my mind. They come from when I'm inspired. And I had even taken probably like a 5-year hiatus on making a lot of jewelry. Like I still have my clients that celebrate, birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. So I still had that sort of clientele flowing still, but I wasn't engrossed in making the jewelry because I just wasn't feeling inspired. But over the last, I would say, year, I've made close to 400 new pieces.
Oh, wow.
I've really been inspired. I've had the opportunity to dig deeper into my travels. I love traveling. But I've had an opportunity to just dig a little bit more into my travels, and I've found vendors in the different places that I've been. So, I stay in contact with them. A big part of my budget when I travel is finding a vendor that has beads that I haven't seen. So it's like, some people will spend their money on excursions or food, like I'm going to do the excursions and I'm going to eat, but I definitely set aside, some money to work specifically with local vendors to get different types of beads, different types of pendants, just different types of materials, and that feeling, that inspiration through traveling has allowed me to create, like I said, close to 400 new pieces in less than a year.
Wow. And okay, so Nantal jewelry can be found on Instagram. It's Nantle, Nontle jewelry. Where does the name come from?
It's from a South African language and it means mother of beauty. So it's called Nantal Jewelry, a unique experience. My daughter is the inspiration behind that, because to me, she's beautiful. So mother of beauty is that, and a unique experience. Unique is her middle name. So she was really the inspiration behind that, behind the name.
And then, so you also offer custom orders as well. So how does one go about that? Like, is there something specific? If it's something specific that they're requesting, do you put your spin on it as well, or how does that work?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime someone's coming to me, they know that they're going to get a unique piece of jewelry. And even if they've seen something even if someone has something that's similar to theirs, it will never be exactly what they have. And that's why I have the clients that I have. So if they're looking for something custom, what I've been able to do is in town I can set up, and you can, come to my space and we can work it out. There's been times where I've traveled depending on the amount of customers that I'm going to serve. I can travel. So I've been to, Detroit, Chicago, New York. Those are easy spots for me to get to. Atlanta. And then the other thing I've started doing is Zoom calls. So we set up Zoom. I sort of lay out the color palette that you're looking for. You give me an idea of what you're looking for. I come back, I lay out the color palette, the different pendants that I have that sort of go in that palette. And then we work together to create you a statement piece of jewelry.
And it's an array of jewelry. So it's necklace, it's bracelets, and then it's unisex as well. So you have for men and women you design for.
Yes, that's correct. My guys got on me about 3 years ago, like, you don't have a lot of stuff for us and we want to support too. And I said, I hear you loud and clear. So I started making men's necklaces, men's bracelets. There are some bracelets that are unisex. But I specifically have like women's bracelets, specifically have men's bracelets, and then men's cufflinks, men's necklaces, and women's necklaces. And I'm getting in more into earrings. I never really got into earrings because I'm not the person that matches my necklace with my earrings.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people that love that. So I'm getting more into when I'm creating necklaces, having earring options as well.
Okay, and how do you come up with the I see that there's different on the necklaces, there's different masks, and there's different like sculpturous pendants. How do you come up with those, and what are the meanings behind some of them?
Some of them are like I've received them in my travels, like the brass pendants. I got a majority of those when I went to Kenya. I had maybe 2 or 3 that I've picked up along the way, but in Kenya, I was able to find a vendor, and he supplied me with lots of different types of brass masks. Now, there's no like significant meaning behind them, because I did ask him, and he said no, they're just different designs.
Mm-hmm.
So I have those masks. I have the different like Buddha masks that I got when I was in Thailand. So I have a lot of those pendants as well. And there's some other pendants that I have that are brass or what is the material? Brass or ceramic.
Okay.
And, these are just pendants that I've found like in my travels, or, like I can go to like a vintage thrift store and find, like one piece of a necklace that I like. I'm like, oh, I'll buy the whole necklace for this one piece.
Right.
And then, like, I don't discard it, but I don't discard what I don't use. Like, I'll try to, figure out a way to sort of mix it into something new and make it fresh. But I've definitely been in vintage thrift stores and found like just a statement pendant and was like, I need that, and would take apart the entire necklace to get that one pendant. But yes, that's how I create. And like I said, I don't sketch or anything. It's just whatever's coming to my mind at the time. That's how it comes out in the piece.
Yeah, and it's definitely beautiful, and they all are very unique. There's not one that looks exactly like the other. So, anyone who's purchasing it definitely can have a unique piece. So, I really, really love that. How long have you been operating in? So, but wait, you have the t-shirt business, you have your jewelry line, and then you also are in youth sports with volleyball. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I have my own volleyball club. It's the equivalent to AAU basketball for those that just aren't aware. But it's club volleyball. We travel around the Midwest, Cleveland, Chicago, Cincinnati, Detroit, Louisville, Indianapolis. We travel, Pittsburgh, to those different types of locations, and we play in all-day tournaments. And this year we had 6 teams. The most we've had is 14 teams. But this year we had 6 teams. We really wanted to trim down what we were doing. And our teams are extremely successful. In our last tournament, we took first, second. So our 13s team won second, 14s team won second, 15s team won first. Our 16-17 combination team got third. Our other 16-17 combination team got third, and our 18s team got first as well. So we sort of trimmed down what we were doing, and each team is performing at like an extremely high level, and we're doing very well across the board. And that's really cool. I've been running the club. This was our 7th year. Wow. And we've had lots of success. This year, our class of 2020 had a 100% commitment rate to go play volleyball in college. Wow. And they're on scholarship. Let me also say that.
That's very important. Absolutely.
Yes. So that's what we've been doing there. And it's really important to me to have the club, because it's about representation. I came from 2 separate volleyball clubs before I started my club, where representation just was not important. And for me, I tell people all the time, like, we are a Black-owned business. We do not discriminate, but we are a Black-owned business, and we, make sure that our girls are not in the minority.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We are absolutely, welcoming to all. We have all races in our club, but we make sure that our girls are not in the minority. And most of them, this is the only time that they're not in the minority.
Right. I played volleyball in high school, so you don't really see a lot of us playing, and it's an amazing sport. You have to do a lot. It's a full body workout for sure.
Yes.
And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So that's good. And the youth group is called, what is that called?
It's called 2GVC, and it stands for 2 Girls Volleyball Club. 2 of us started it, and 2 of us run it right now. So that's where that name came from. It started because we used to do clinics around the city, me and another coach, and they were like, hey, like, you guys are those 2 girls that do volleyball. And we're like, yeah, and it just kind of stuck. And so we just sort of went with that for the club name, for 2GVC. And it's been, like I said, it's been an amazing ride. The kids love it. The parents, love it. They love that they can just be themselves. As women, we're taught not to always be so aggressive and assertive, but in our club we encourage that. If you're gonna get a kill, get a kill.
Absolutely.
Don't just put the ball down and then get excited about it.
Absolutely. Get in their face.
Yeah, I have had coaches come to me and say, we absolutely hate playing against you. Like, we love the competition, but we hate it because it's like every single point they get excited about. So the score can be 1-1. And, we score points and they're like, yes, and it's like, and it's this energy that sort of takes over. And I can tell you, I don't know how many times we've been at tournaments and people have stopped. They've been walking by and stopped and just watched our courts play. Like, our kids play with so much heart, so much grit, so much enthusiasm. And that's actually what one of the coaches, she has 3 of our players now. That's what she said. She came and we had a coaches roundtable with her and all the younger players, and they were able to ask questions. And she said, the one thing, that this club has that other clubs don't have at all that I've seen, she's like, is that grit and intensity. Like, you guys will, like, she was like, no ball drops. Like, there's always hustle. Like, there's always grit. There's always intensity. And you guys are so much fun to watch. Like, you're fundamentally sound, and you play with just this level of excitement. And I've had so many people say, like, your teams are so much fun to watch. Like, we don't see kids having this much fun playing volleyball.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely when you know that the players are having a great time, it is an amazing show for the audience.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I will say, sometimes I'm like, guys, like, I need you to calm down just a little bit. Like, I need you to focus in, and I call us like, guys, we have that focused fun. And they're like, okay. And it's like, they understand that, that they've gotten past that, like, they're having too much fun,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not as focused, So that's always like my keyword, like, focused fun. They're like, okay, I got it. And they kind of, snap back into, being as focused as they should be on the court.
Absolutely. Well, kudos to you, and hats off to you and your partner for, two girls volleyball club. That's very, very important. You don't really hear that a lot. You don't hear, our girls being represented in those spaces. So kudos to you. And how can somebody support your club?
So if you're in the area and are good, you can join our club.
Okay, and that's Ohio.
We have tryouts in the fall. Yes, we are in Columbus, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and we have kids that come as far as Cincinnati to be a part of our organization, to be just to feel that sense of oneness. So you can support in that way. Two Girls Volleyball Club is our Instagram account. And then the website is twogirlsvolleyball.com. And that is spelled out TWO, girlsvolleyball.com. There's a donate link. So if you're interested in contributing financially, there's a donate link that you can do there. On PayPal, on Cash App, it's $2 Girls Volleyball Club. So we're always looking for, financial support. We try to offer at least one partial scholarship or full scholarship every year. And those donations go to, a young lady whose family is fiscally unable for her to play club volleyball, but she does have what it takes to make it to the collegiate level. And, we just want to be that platform to be able to give back and just serve our community in particular. There's so many talented young women that are playing volleyball, and we just want to make sure that they have an outlet to be able to play, have an exceptional talent level, exceptional athleticism, and put those two things together. And that's sort of who we are as a club. We're very athletic and very technically sound at the same time, which is sort of, you don't get that mix very often.
Right. You don't. Some people focus on one or the other. So kudos to you guys again. And then so you have the three organizations or companies that you're working on. It seems like simultaneously.
Yes.
So you're not doing this alone? You have a team. Is it the same team, or is it a different group of people for each company?
So it's a different group of people. With the t-shirt line, it's all females. So there's 3 of us that are like fully invested, and then an additional 4 who, can contribute financially. And then with the club, I have a coaching staff. And they're amazing. And I tell them all the time, like, we would not be successful without you guys as a coaching staff. Like, they believe in the mission, they believe in the girls' club volleyball is expensive, and we're on the nonprofit side of it. So we don't charge as much as like other clubs for the same services, just to make sure that it's affordable. So, the coaches aren't paid, as well as I would like for them to be. But I think anytime you coach, you don't get, proper compensation.
Right.
But they are absolutely incredible. They take their time out. They not only teach the girls fundamental volleyball skills. We are like a life skills club. Like the things that you're going to learn in this club are going to be life skills. You're going to learn how to handle yourself in certain situations. And we've had some negative situations where, we've been, verbally disrespected and almost physically assaulted simply for playing volleyball.
No.
But it's like, you learn those life lessons, and you have excellent young role models. So I have some younger coaches, and then I have, some coaches that are older than me. And we just have this swing of like 23 to 45 in the coaching staff. And the kids love it because they can look up and see, this is what I would like to be like. So with the exception of our one male coach, all of our coaches have played in college. And so they're able to look and see, this person looks like me and they were able to play in college, and I can do it too. And we think that that's very important as a part of the representation piece.
Absolutely. Yeah. I grew up in California, and I always told my mother that was the best thing she could have done for me, because I would say, if I can see anyone doing something, I know that I am able to do it. I live now currently in Atlanta, and I have a son, and I love it here because he sees men that look like him, and he can have the same thought process. So he knows that there's absolutely nothing that he cannot do. And like you said, representation, when he sees other black men doing great things, looking well, smelling good, he knows, that's he sees himself in them. So representation is very, very important. And your girls, the players, that the ages range from what to, I think the last age you said was 18.
Yes. So our youngest player is 10.
Okay.
And she plays on the 13 and under team. So the under represents, you can be a junior playing on a senior team, or you could be a sophomore playing on a senior team. So it's just that age is the cap that you can be at. So our youngest player is 10, and our oldest players that are graduating this year are 18, 17, 18.
So that's great, because the young girls get the almost like they can look up to the older players. So they have
absolutely,
that representation, and then the older players, again, like you said, they're looking at the coaches like, okay, this is my next level. So each child sees the next level within your organization.
Absolutely. And our older teams are amazing about going to the younger teams' practices and helping them. And anytime we're at a tournament, so we're all at the same tournament, we just may be playing on different courts and in different waves. So say the 18s team is done playing, but the 13s team is playing. They'll come and surround the whole court and cheer on the girls and just be encouraging and things like that. Like it's a family atmosphere, so anybody can go cheer on anybody else when they're done playing. We have messaging where you can see which court everybody else is on. And so the parents will go and they'll support the other teams, and it's just a very supportive environment. And like I said, the representation, not only just during practice but during summer camps, our kids that have already been to college, they come back and they help us run our summer camps. And so they can see, again, the younger ones are looking up to the ones in high school. The ones in high school are looking up to the ones that are already in college, and to the coaching staff. So it's just an amazing opportunity for young girls to see exactly what they're capable of.
Oh wow. Yeah, that listen, I'm excited just hearing about it. We're gonna probably have to get you guys a YouTube channel or something so everyone can support and watch that. When the bank says no, Airbnb hosting without owning the property. Read how one woman took a bank's rejection for financing and turned it into a lucrative Airbnb business without owning the property. Sean shares her step-by-step process from picking her niche market to furniture purchases, all which led her to achieving superhost status in her first 30 days of hosting with Airbnb. Learn how she made almost $20,000 in less than 7 months while still maintaining her full-time job. New hosts are often unsure of what they need to do, making Airbnb harder than it has to be. Follow her story of determination and perseverance and learn how you can implement her practices in any of your entrepreneurial endeavors. Go to www.shawnhenry.com. That's www.shawnhenry to order your copy of When the Bank Says No, Airbnb hosting without owning the property. I mean, especially now with all the sports not happening, and has the COVID-19 affected you all's? Is this your season?
Oh yeah, it devastated our season. We only got about halfway through and COVID hit and it was just all bad. We had to cancel the rest of the season. The girls were really disappointed. We've had like Zoom meetings, group chats, TikToks, like, things just to kind of keep the kids engaged, but they were devastated. Like most of them play for their school and they enjoy it, but club is where they thrive. Mm-hmm. They're, it's like they're ready for club season. Like as soon as school season's over, they're like, okay, coach, we're ready for club. Like, can we have some open gyms? Like, what's the situation here? And because it's like, when you're playing with school, you're playing with people that you realistically may not like. But in club, we just get along so well. Like it truly is like a family, and the girls enjoy each other. The parents enjoy each other. The parents do TikToks and send them, to be posted on Instagram. Like, the parents are like, okay, well, y'all go do this over here, but we're going to do this, while you go, like the parents have their camaraderie. Like as the coaching staff, like we stay in the same Airbnb, so we hang out at tournaments, and it's just it's a great time. And it was really sort of devastating because these kids so look forward to club season. Mm-hmm. And it's been really tough for them, and it's been tough for our coaches because this is what we love to do. We're definitely not in this for the money. Like we're like, yes, like let's get it. Like we're so excited. And the coaching staff is bummed. I'm bummed, like, but we understand,
right.
But it's definitely really bummed us out.
And you know what I've realized during this time too is although this whole pandemic has kind of put a monkey wrench in people's everyday lives, it's put things into perspective to where you're able to really appreciate the things that you may have taken for granted and didn't really even know it, so now when we get back to our new normal, whatever that may be, some of those same things, we'll appreciate that much more. So you never know, your girls may come back super fired up. You may have to find another way to control them because they're going to be, super excited. They miss the sport. They miss the camaraderie. It sounds like the whole organization, from the students to the parents to the coaches, all have, like you said, it's a family situation. So everyone is getting along and everyone is wanting to be there, which is very important.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, what's one action with the three businesses that you have going on simultaneously, and you're very involved in all of them. With a new business owner, or a business owner that's you know, they may not be new, it may be a few months in or maybe even a couple of years in, what action can they do to get past the stagnant phase?
Um, you have to keep pushing and you have to find new inspiration. That's to me the most important part. Like you're going to get tired, you're going to get weary, you're going to question, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? But, if you find that true inspiration, and it can come in any sort of form. Like I had a girl, I used to coach at a college, Central State University in Ohio, and I had a girl and she said this was the first time she had ever had more than one black teammate.
Oh, wow.
And she's been playing volleyball since she was like 10. At this point, she was 20. Believe she was a sophomore. I think it was her sophomore year. And it's those small things. So in volleyball, like that sort of was like, man, I'm definitely doing the right thing by the club, or when the kids come and say, school volleyball is so hard because no one else looks like me. They treat me different. But when I come to club, I feel accepted. I feel valued. I feel wanted, like you don't just want me for my skill set. Like you care about me as a person. Those are things that keeps me going. And then even with jewelry, like I said, I had taken like a 5-year hiatus and traveling helped, but then like I started seeing people started posting pictures of like themselves in my jewelry, and probably it was happening before, but I think I just kind of saw it in a different light. And they're like, hey, you need to check out this person, she does great jewelry. And it's like just to have those people in your corner who inadvertently are inspiring you.
Absolutely.
But just like I with anything, you have to remember why you started. You're going to have tons of ups and downs as an entrepreneur. I mean, there are some nights where I was like in tears, like I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, in the volleyball realm, like I was being personally attacked and racially attacked, like by other clubs, and it was just, you know, and then my people, my corner, it was like, hey, like, you can cry, but you got to buck up. Like, this is what we do. And I'm like, okay, you're right, because I'm usually the person that's saying that. And they're like, well, what would you say to you? You would say, cry them tears, dry them, and let's go. And I'm like, you're right. Okay, my bad. I had to have my moment, guys. I'm emotional.
Absolutely. Yeah,
But
you have to have those moments where you okay, but you don't stay in them. And that's
right,
great that you have a team that, they're like, "No, we're not going to let you stay in this, Dani," because you would do that for them.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so important. Like, you don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be your immediate, person or your partner or your spouse. Like, but you definitely need to have at least one person in your corner that when you feel down or you feel discouraged, you can go to them and they can pour positivity and light into you. Because as an entrepreneur, you're giving up so much of yourself and you're sacrificing so much of yourself that you need someone to pour back into you, whether that's a parent, a partner, a friend, even a stranger. I've had strangers come up to me and it's like, you know what? I don't know what you're doing, but I feel your energy and you keep it up. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's good. Um, yeah, I've had that too. I'm like, who you after the fact, you're like, who was that person? You
right, but you're like, thank you. Like, I receive it. Thank you.
right. And then
And
sometimes when you're in your own thoughts, you're like, I don't know where that came from. But then later it hits you, and you're like, wow, okay, yeah, that was right on time.
mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the impact that you're hoping to achieve?
So I'll kind of go like one by one with
Sure.
jewelry, with Nantal jewelry. Just I want people to feel, as the kids say, a certain kind of way
Mm-hmm.
when they wear my jewelry. I want you to feel like you're making that statement. Whatever statement it is that you're choosing to make, that you're making that statement through jewelry. Because I believe that you can take a plain dress or a plain t-shirt or a plain, dress shirt and turn it into something that's a statement that makes you feel confident and comfortable in who you are with your jewelry. So that's the statement I would like to make with jewelry. With I am the change, the statement is that you are the change, that you are capable in whatever capacity that you're in. You are capable of being the change. You can be a part of the change. You can be the catalyst for the change. You can represent the change, but at the end of the day, you're accepting the charge to be the change that you want to see.
Absolutely.
And then with with volleyball, with 2GVC, it's the empowerment and it's the representation and the pouring into young ladies' lives. I think it's so important to pour into our young people. They truly are the future. And if we don't pour into them correctly, what they're going to give back to us isn't what we need as a community and as a society. So we have to pour positivity and light and self-respect and self-worth. And you are beautiful. Your brown skin is beautiful. Your curly hair is beautiful. Your afro is beautiful. Your box braids are beautiful. Like, however it is that you choose to represent yourself, you are beautiful. You matter. You're important to the world. The world needs whatever it is that you have to offer. The world needs. And that's how I would like to impact through the 3 businesses that I run.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very powerful. One of our last questions in our interview is, I always ask, are entrepreneurs born or made? What do you say about that?
I feel like it's a combination of both. For me personally, I've always had like the entrepreneurial spirit. Like we're talking like lemonade stands, selling like Anthony Thomas candy, or have my mom take me to the store buying candy and selling it like at my games or whatever. Like I've always had that sort of drive. First of all, because I was always taught the importance of like multiple streams of income. Like you can't just have like one job. Like that's not going to cut it. Because what happens if you lose your job?
Yeah. And a lot of people are seeing that right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think that they could be made out of circumstance, because I am currently partnered with people who did not think that they were entrepreneurs, but came across, in particular with the t-shirt line, came across something that they're like, oh, well, this is something I can get behind. They had never thought about entrepreneurship. And it's like now they're in it. So I do believe that it can be a combination of both. It could be your circumstance, or it could be that that's a spirit that you have inside of you.
I like that. So it's could be circumstantial as well, like you said, with your t-shirt line, the team that you have. Some of them, like you said, are like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely something I never knew I wanted to do, and I found it.
Right.
Okay.
And I think it's important as an entrepreneur just to be able to put that into other people. I've had people come to me and say, I've never thought about starting my own business or own clothing line or whatever. And it's like, now they're doing it. And it's like, I'm glad to be any sort of, inspiration or help.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely, I mean, just in speaking with you, your tone, your energy, I couldn't imagine anyone not wanting to be just in your space. and I'm happy that you have people around you that are pouring back into you, because sometimes when you're always doing the pouring, you can become empty very quickly, so
Yeah.
that's great. I love just the energy especially when you're talking about your girls, you're super, super passionate about that. All of it, your jewelry, you're very passionate about everything that you have going on. And I just can't see anything but success around each venture. These three, plus I'm sure you're gonna have more, because you don't seem like somebody that just stops at one or two things. So and then being creative, like you said, that the 5 year hiatus um, probably was needed. It probably was needed for you to recharge. And then look,
Absolutely.
you who does 400 pieces in a year? Like, who does that? I mean, all handmade, right?
Yes,
Handmade.
all handmade and all one of a kind designs.
Exactly.
Um,
So who's
yes,
doing that? You can't be burnt out doing that. Like, you have to, you have to definitely be able to regroup and revisit and experience life, and have the universe just speak to you in different ways in order to be that creative, with each piece being unique and different, and and for someone else. So yeah, hats off to you.
thank you.
In our last segment, Growing Our Tribe, we shout out another small Black owned business, as well as a book that has helped us in growing our minds, which in turn grows our business. So in this part of the segment, we like to share our spotlight with another Black owned business. It doesn't have to be one, it can be however many you would like. But we like to, again, like I said, share our spotlight. So can you give us a Black owned small business, what they do, and how we can find them?
Sure. Two of my favorites is Sculptress Fitness. They're on Instagram at Sculptress Fitness. They do female, in particular, female weightlifting. So, you won't get bulky, you'll really tone up, lean up. They have that. And then the official skinny cook. And this young lady, she's a vegan, but she prepares vegan, vegetarian, and meat-based meals, meal prep for you. And both of these companies are very good, and I support them and stand behind what they're doing. I'm currently in the Sculptures Fitness workout group, and I've been able to see the results. So kudos to them and shout out to them.
And we can find them both where?
Both on Instagram, at Sculptress Fitness and at Official Skinny Cook.
Okay. Oh, and listen, that's both of them are very needed right now. I know I've gained 10 pounds since having to be at home during this pandemic. So people are saying that they are nixing their summer bodies, but at some point we have to go outside.
Like summer 2021 is it.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's gonna be it for sure this year. Maybe winter 2020. I don't know.
Right.
Okay, and name a book that has helped you or your business grow.
Dave Ramsey, Total Money Makeover. That and More Than Enough. More Than Enough is basically about, as consumers, we sort of, I think, like, do too much, right? We always got to have this and that, and like the latest of this and multiples of this and that. And for me, that book really sort of grounded me in helping get like my credit on track, get my finances back in order. Both of those books, I think, were just very helpful for me, because if your money's right, and your credit's right, then as a business owner, you have a lot more options and opportunities.
A lot of leverage, and you don't even have to be a business owner for that. When you're,
Correct.
like you said, when your money's right, you're not, you can think about other things as opposed to the debt. So that book was More Than Enough. And then you also said Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover.
Yes. So that's like a workbook that you can sort of work through and put yourself on like a financial plan. And then there's one more other Black business I really need to shout out.
Sure.
It's Keys to Black Wealth. And that's also, they're on Instagram as Keys to Black Wealth. And they have an amazing financially fitness program. It's like finance boot camp. It is absolutely incredible. I took it about a year ago, and it has been very beneficial in my life. So I definitely have to shout them out.
Absolutely. I think all of those are very important, especially with people trying to get themselves back on track. Some people have been hit very, very hard financially. Some people have pivoted nicely. Some people have been able to save. They realize how much money they spent eating out every single day. I'm in that category. But so I think being financially fit, coming out of this, being physically fit, coming out of this emotionally and mentally is very important. So let's tell our listeners how we can find you again, and your businesses. How can we support them?
Okay. To find me and all my businesses, they're all on my personal Instagram page, which is at just_1 Dani B. And from there, you can get links to my jewelry page, which is at Nontal Jewelry, the t-shirt line, which is at I am_ the change brand. And then the volleyball is at Two Girls Volleyball Club, the number 2. And then I also, like for my travel blog, it's at One Free Spirit Travel. But anytime you go to my page, if you go to my page, you will find all of those links there in my bio. So as everyone says, link in the bio.
Absolutely. And
so you can find everything that I'm interested in there. Yes.
And just one Dani B is JUST_1 DANIB. So
that's correct.
Definitely make that known. Well, Dani, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate having you here. You've dropped so many literal jewels on this episode. Your jewelry is so beautiful. I definitely want to get a t-shirt for sure, because I do believe I am the change. I have been that and throughout my life, and that's part of what this podcast is for as well, to help other people be the change that they want to be. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you pouring into those girls and being an example for them, and being a physical example to them, because that's very important. You're beautiful in your spirit and personality, as well as your appearance. So I wish you nothing but the best in everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time and your efforts in reaching out to me. And I mean, I've had an amazing time with you today, and hopefully we can speak again.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you'll definitely be seeing my order come through for probably some. Okay, so the jewelry that's on your nontaljewelry.bigcartel.com, that's already available.
That's correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then I have other pieces that need to be uploaded. They're with my photographer right now. And so I'm going to get those uploaded as well. Or if you're interested in a custom piece, we can talk about what that looks like. But yes, everything that is on Big Cartel right now is available for purchase and shipping.
Okay, perfect. And then I am the change. So there's a different colors of t-shirts and that people can purchase for there as well. So do that ish period. As well as I am the change in different colors, red, blue, gray. So it's a variety, and it looks like people have customized them with fringe, and they've done their own thing just to put their spin on their t-shirts. So, and they're men and women as well.
Right. So the t-shirts are unisex. We also have hoodies. We do most of the customization. So you can get grommets, you can get fringes, you can get slashes. Like we can completely trick out your shirt. We have bleaching that we can do. So there's the stock t-shirts, and then there's also the custom t-shirts. So if you say, hey, like I want a black shirt, but I want like bleach tie-dye, then we bleach tie-dye your black shirt, before we send it out. If you want fringes on like the front of your shirt or slashes up the back, we put zippers on your t-shirts, on your hoodies. Like, it's a complete custom project. So you can have a t-shirt or you can have a custom t-shirt. So that's also what we're able to do with the t-shirts themselves.
Oh, wow. So everything can be customized.
Yes, we believe that. We believe that you can be a part of, what you want to be a part of and support, but then also, have your own flair and take on it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Thank you again, Dani, for joining us on Sean Henry's Becoming. I really appreciate it. I'm sure we're gonna have some people contacting you for your jewelry. The people in the Ohio area, Columbus, Ohio area, for the girls volleyball, definitely be a part of that, as well as the I Am the Change t-shirt line that's happening right now. You can utilize those t-shirts if you're participating in any of the protesting that's happening right now. I think that would be a great representation of what it is that you stand for, as well as supporting Dani's company. So we're very excited to see what's going to happen for you in the future. So again, thank you for your time and your patience this morning. I really appreciate it. This has been another episode of Sean Henry's Becoming with me, your host, Sean Henry. If you've gotten anything out of this conversation, please let us know in the comments or by going to SeanHenry.com and leave a review. We appreciate the time you took to listen and value your feedback. We are always looking for entrepreneurs to spotlight. If you would like us to spotlight you and your business, go to SeanHenry.com and click the link Be My Guest. Remember to tune in every Saturday as we continue to spotlight entrepreneurs during their bumpy but fulfilling ride to success on their own terms.